Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Moxon Fernape, and this is my team builder and battle for Season 7, Week 6 of the NPL Majors. This week I'm going up against my good pal, Trev Sea, coach of the Houston Toxapexans. He used to be the Atlanta Braviaries, but he realized that he spelled his name wrong, so he finally changed it. So, props to him for finally realizing that. Haha, just kidding. But yeah, so we're playing Trev. And as I said, I'm doing the team builder and the battle in the same video, Damn it, Shoddy, stop messaging me. Sorry. Shoddy just messaging me because we're talking about mocks and such. But anyways, so Trev's team's pretty spooky, and right now in the standings, I'm not gonna pull them up, because I don't have the dimensions set right on Camtasia, so whatever. But right now in the standings, going into this week, I'm 3-2, he's 2-3. We're in the same division. So this is a divisional game, or conference. Yeah, I think conference, whatever, same thing. So this is a pretty big game. If I win, I'm 4-2, and then he's 2-4, and I kind of push him back, push him away from the playoff race a bit, at least for now. But if I lose and he wins, then we're both 3-3, and we're both right in the mix, and it's just a big clusterfuck of a lot of teams at 3-3, and it's just a big jumble, and just, I don't want that. You gotta win, especially after losing our last two games versus Rob and then David. So on a 2-game losing streak, hopefully not going to be 3. Gonna try to prevent that. But yeah, so I'll just read off Trev's team, put it on the screen, as well as all of my team on screen. I did not make any transactions this week, did I? No. Okay, no. I did next week, but I'll get into those next week. So Trev's team's got Topley, Finney, Volcarona, Meggalade, Shaman, Silvally, Yuxi, Bisharp, Dragology, Lando I, which is a Z move user, and then Torkoal, Victory Bell. So his team, notable threats, really the first 4 I really expect. Volcarona I'm not certain on, but the other 3 I'm pretty much certain are coming. Volcarona I still think is pretty likely to come, because it's just really spooky, and just, it's tough for teams to prep for, because it's just so, it's just such a big, what's the word, burden, yeah, yes, burden is the word, in prep to deal with it, just because, you know, you gotta have a lot of rock coverage, and you gotta prevent it from trying to set up, and if it does set up, you gotta have something to check it, and it's a big burden, nuisance, that's the other word I was thinking of. But yeah, so it's just annoying, so I think it will come. And then Lando I think is pretty likely, because it's really scary versus my team. My switch-ins are limited, especially as a Z-move user, because Z-Flies, the Earthquake, they're pretty spooky. And you can also do some setup, like Rock Polish is scary. Potentially Swords Dance, maybe Double Dance, but I don't think so, because I don't think he'll have the chance to Double Dance. Amateur. He could run like Z Sandstorm, that's scary too, so a lot of things that Lando could do that are scary. I don't really expect the Sun Core. I just think he's better things to bring versus me. But in that last slide, I expect maybe Bisharp or Dragology. As they're both pretty nice breakers versus my team. Silvally, it's kind of weird to prep for it because I don't really know what types, so I can't really like go out of my way to like prep for it or prep for a certain type. I don't really expect it a whole lot. Yuxi could maybe come as like a stealth rocker, but I don't really expect Yuxi a whole lot because I just think he's better things to bring versus me. But yeah, so his team really, it's got a lot of fast mons, it's got a lot of speed. So having ways of lowering your speed, some nice speed control of this game is pretty key. And I think he'll be bringing like a lot of offense. Like he's got a lot of setup mons and a lot of just kind of fast offense, or just fast mons in general. So I think bringing a more typical kind of slower, balanced, bulky team this week is not really going to work. So I'm taking a different approach this week, I would say. Yeah, different. Kind of opposite of last week. Because last week I had a very bulky team. Not like super stally, like really just, it was just Fate around, kind of stalling out a lot. It was just the one mon for the most part, honestly. So that wasn't like a total stall team, but this team is kind of the exact opposite. I'm bringing not quite hyper offense, but I'm bringing a lot of offense, I guess. I don't know if I'd say hyper offense, but yes, let's just get into the team. So first off, got my Electivire. So dual screens, Volt Switch, HP Ice, and then Light Clay. So max speed, timid to tie his Silvally and Yuxi if they come. Just because I want as much speed as possible. And also if Lando's maybe adamant, then I can outspeed that, which is cool. But yeah, so dual screens. So I don't really have much setup on this team. I really only have one setup on. So it's not really meant for me to set up and then sweep with something. It's just kind of meant because if he has all this if he has all these mons that are hitting really hard and just trying to just break through my team, then if I have screens up, meaning that they're doing half as much damage, then it's harder for him to just get that pressure off of my team and just get that big damage, and he needs early game. And with my team, since I'm pretty offensive, I can pressure his team quite a bit, especially if I do screens up, then I can take his hits and then hit back and just do damage to him while he's not doing as much to me. And I feel like this is a pretty cool mod to get up screens. It's a pretty nice lead, as I think it's a nice lead versus almost everything. And it can get up at least one screen, almost guaranteed. If he does lead Lando, that's a little spooky, but I don't think he'll be clicking Earthquake turn 1. I think if he does lead Lando, he'll click Rocks or U-turn. So I think we're okay to lead Evire. So in Hidden Power Ice is really just for Lando on the switch-in, or if he tries to set up versus me, then that's what HP Ice is for. Just so I can maybe be a little aggressive if he wants to be, if he wants to just try to go hard into Lando. I'm predicting a Volt Switch or Thunderbolt or something. But yeah, then Volt Switch, I can just pivot on things like Shaman, which is really nice, because if I can get up a light screen and then pivot on that, then I can bring in something like Toxapexans, which can be really, really scary, and Toad is really cool this game. It's a nice set, you'll see in a bit. So next we got my Berry, Necrozma, Stealth Rocks, Rock Slide, Psychic, Brick Break. So this thing, the spread is really weird. What was it for? I forget, honestly. I think that Spadef is so, like, Specs Volcarona doesn't Oko me with Bug Buzz. I think that was Timid. Maybe it's Modest, I forget. But I do have Rock Slide, hit Volcarona. Psychic hits most things, and Brick Break hits Bisharp. He really doesn't have a good switch-in. That's one thing I really like about this. Mainly this and Toxapexans. I really like about them is, really his only switch-ins are things like Feeny or Yuxi or Shaman, which just get chipped down, which is ideal for my win con, which is Zygarde, and kind of Ape to an extent. But this is really cool. It just pressures his main, what would be switch-ins, and things like Feeny, or maybe Yuxi if he brings it, or Bisharp, so do Brick Break. And if he wants to switch in anything else, you do not take this thing on too well. It can check Gallade pretty well, because Colbur, you know, allows me to take a knockoff. I can hit it pretty hard with Psychic. I did consider carrying Prismatic Laser, which is like a Psychic Hyper Beam. I really considered that and thought about it, but in the end I opted out because it's base 160 power and Psychic's base 90, so 2 Psychics do more than 1 Prismatic Laser, so in the end I think Psychic was a little better, although it would have been a cool tech to run the PL, yeah, PL, so that would have been cool. The Fizz Def is for Lando? I don't know. I honestly forget. Yeah, I have no clue. I don't know if I invested into Fizz Def or into Spectacular, but I wanted to be quiet just so I can boost my special attack and hit kind of hard with my Psychics, and then I don't really need the speed. I could try to creep some things like Feeny or Yuxi or Bisharp if he's creeping me, but I'm okay with being slower than them. On the Bisharp, I might outspeed, I forget. I mean, he'll probably outspeed on his Bisharp either way, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I have not a lot of HP because I don't want Gallade getting too much health back from Drain Punch if he doesn't have really anything else to hit me. Then I want to lower the amount of health that he's getting back from Drain Punch. So yeah, that's pretty cool there. Necrozma's just bulky, can set up rocks, which are nice for Volcarona mainly. And then it can just weaken down stuff, which is really, really helpful. So next we got kind of my main win con, Zygarde 10%. I'm not sure why the picture doesn't show with the showdown update. It's weird, but it doesn't, which is annoying. So we just got Arrows, Crunch, E-Speed, and Glare. So Glare is mainly meant for the Mega Gallade, because if he's got like some bulk ups up, really at least one, then Zygarde's not going to be hitting him too hard. But I can Glare him, then he'll be paralyzed, and I can just sack off my Doggo, and then bring in Toxapexans, who can then outspeed, and then Air Slash can flinch because he's inner focus, but if he's taking some chip, then Air Slash can kill, or I can maybe get a para, although Toxapexans is also pretty bulky, so I'm not too invested in bulk, but I can take hits naturally because Toxapexans is naturally somewhat fat. But then Toxapexans can hopefully beat Gallade if he's paralyzed and prevent me from getting swept by that. Because that's really what this team is meant to do, is just stop me from getting swept by anything, which I think this team does a good job of. With Glare, that helps me just paralyze things and just be annoying to stuff and hopefully not allow me to get swept. But yeah, so Jolly, almost max speed, creep, Gallade, which is his fastest, or no, to creep, yeah, it was Gallade, which is his fastest thing. So this thing outspeeds everything on his team naturally, which is really cool. So only thing that can outspeed me is Scarfers, which is really nice. E-Speed hits stuff like Volca +1, or maybe a Lando if he's Scarfed or has like a Rock Polish or something. So that's cool. But yeah, Zygarde's just nicest game. Life Orb hits pretty hard. Once Shaman's weakened enough or gone, same with Feeny, this thing could potentially just win. So next we got my whatever. I don't, fuck the haters. That say that when I say Togekiss, it's wrong. I don't care. It flows better. I like Togekiss. Whatever. Tailwind, Air Slash, Orister, Nasty Plot. So this thing, then it could be a berry to take poison hits from things like potentially Mega Glade if it runs Poison Jab. I don't think he will. Maybe Ice Punch or Stone Edge, but eh. Mainly it's meant for Dragology to take a Sludge Wave, Sludge Bomb, as well as potentially a Sludge Wave from Lando. I don't really expect that, but mainly for Dragology, just so I would somewhat say switching to that. But yeah, this set can set up on things, especially if I do screens up. I can set up, and then with the speed, I think it was just so I can outspeed Bisharp, I guess. Yeah. And then Tailwind allows me to outspeed everything on his team, which is really nice. And then I can just pressure his team a lot, because he really doesn't have a good switch in. Bisharp is his only flying resist, I think, if I recall correctly. And yeah, it is. So, you know, Bisharp can switch into Air Slashes decently well, but then he did not want to take an Aura Sphere. So, you know, that's pretty nice. So Air Slash really hits everything else. I did have Psy Shock originally over Nasty Plot, but I thought Nasty Plot was better, just taught me setup versus things. And I can still maybe flinch the Dragology anyways, so that's pretty cool. But this thing can just set up, potentially be a win con. Not really trying to use it as a win con, probably going to pop it early game and then just pressure his team, just do some damage, do some things, and just weaken his team down. So that's really what Togekiss is meant to do. He can switch into Shaman fairly well. But yeah, this is just a cool mon. There's a lot of cool things versus him. So next we got Infernape, Choice Scarf, so Flare Blitz, Earthquake, U-Turn, Rock Slide. So almost max speed Jolly to creep Lando. So this thing, it's nice to be a Scarfer, except it can outspeed +1 Volk. It can outspeed Mega Glade. Must be a speed boost, but I don't think he really. I mean, I guess from a Tailwind, but nothing else really. He doesn't have any. What are his Baton Blast users? I was gonna. Anyways, I don't think he's any actually. Sorry, I was thinking. I can outspeed him naturally, but I don't think Glade has any really form of getting a speed boost. So that's cool. So Infernape can outspeed that, so that's helpful. It can also outspeed Lando. Well, naturally, and if he's at +1 from the Scarf or Z-Sandstorm, and outspeed any other Scarfers, so that's really nice. The Flare Blitz is pretty spammable versus his team. His really only switch-ins are Feeny and Dragology. Outside of that, and kind of Torkoal, but the Sun, and I don't really expect Torkoal anyways, so yeah. But yeah, Flare Blitz is just really nice versus his team. I can click it versus a lot of things. It's really nice. I can shut his team down, which helps my Zygarde in the end. U-Turn is meant so I can pivot if I predict a switch and do Dragology or Feeny. Earthquake, I can hit Dragology, really. That's kind of all it's for, and Rock Slides for Volcarona. But yeah, this thing can just pivot and Flare Blitz and do a lot of cool things, and Ape's just a nice mon in this game. I can help weaken down stuff for my Zydoggo here. So last but not least, we got Snorlax holding a Tropial, Rock Slide, Self-Destruct, Return, and Earthquake. And I think enough Spadef so I can live, I think like a +2 Life Orb Bug Buzz from Volcarona after Rocks or something. It was some kind of arbitrary thing that I don't totally expect, but if that scenario does happen, then Lax can live that guaranteed, so that's cool. Thick Fat allows me to take any fire hits from Volcarona too, so that's really nifty. So Snorlax can help me check Volk. It can also help me check the Glade, because I am Tropial, and Self-Destruct. If he does not have any bulk ups up, I think is a good chance to Oko, but if he does have a bulk up, then I still do around 70%, which is nice, and I do a lot, which then helps my Ape come in and check it, or maybe Zygarde, or maybe Togekiss, or whatever, or Necro. But yeah, this thing's just really nice because it just hits hard, and it can take hits, and it's really cool. You can switch into Volk kind of well. I mean, Bug Buzz could be doing a lot, but I'm not really certain if he will bring Bug Buzz. I think he could bring Quiver, Roost, Fire Move, and then I think Psychic, because that really hits everything he needs to hit on my team. Because Psychic allows him to hit Infernape, which he can't really hit too hard otherwise. I mean, he still hits pretty hard if he has some boosts, but he won't be able to Oko. So that's nice. But yeah, so then EQ also hits Bisharp. I could have carried like Brick Break or some other fighting move, but I feel like EQ was kind of nice because it also allows me to Dragology harder. So that's really nice. But yeah, Tropial just allows me to not be set up fodder for the Glade, essentially. But yeah, that's the team. So hoping to weaken stuff down and then allow Zygarde to win late game, or maybe Ape to just spam Flare Blitz late game. That's possible too. But yeah, we have a lot of berries in this team. We got Necro, we have Toxapexans, and Snorlax. A lot of berries, so 3 berries, that's pretty cool. But yeah, this is the team. I think I can do pretty well. Let's go hop into the battle. I'm going to be doing a post-com, by the way, just because I'm just going to change it up a bit. Last week I did a post-com. This game was very quick, though, so I could have live it, and it would not have been too long. But yeah, I'll get into the battle in just a second. Alright, boyos, we are back with the battle, as you can see here. So, my team I just did in the team builder, which I may or may not put a timestamp in the description, if you guys want to just skip to the battle. But if you did skip to the battle, then you're here now, you did it. But I hope you watched the team builder, because it was cool, it was fun, we had a good time. So we got Evire, we got Necro, Psydoggo, Togekiss, and Fernape Snorlax. Not going to go over the sets, because you should watch the team builder, bitch. I don't know why I said that. I got Volcarona, Gallade, Lando, Tapu Fini, Bisharp, and Shaman on Trev's end. Nothing really shocking on his end. That's pretty much what I expected. No Dragology. That's the only thing. I maybe expected that over Bisharp, but that's still what I expected. That team right there makes a lot of sense. So I'm just going to lead with my Evire because I can set up a screen or two as he does lead Lando. So this is a little scary because, you know, he could just EQ, just knock me out. But he might be fearing that I am maybe Shuka, maybe Scarfed, so he could just switch out or U-turn or set up rocks, which is really what I expect. I don't think he'll go hard for the Earthquake this turn, as he does just switch out, so that's cool. So we do go for a Reflect, I think. Yeah, so, right, so I went for that just in case we did like set up Stealth Rocks and I don't want to die to EQ the following turn. So anyways, so I do stay in, as he goes for Bug Buzz and gets a crit. Now we do see his Life Orb, so it's good to get some intel on his set. But that crit actually kind of sucks. If he didn't crit me, I would have lived. I went for Volt Switch that turn, which would have gotten some damage off. The damage, it wouldn't have done a whole lot. It would have done, I think, around like 20, I think it's like 22 to 26%, if I recall correctly from the roll. Which isn't like a lot of damage, but it's actually kind of significant, which I'll explain a little more later. But then I would have still had Evire healthy around 30%-ish, which, I mean, it's not super healthy, but I could have brought it back in later as a sack, maybe to get a screen or two, versus something like Fini or maybe Bisharp, or maybe even Shaman. Oh, not Shaman actually, I think that's better, maybe would have killed me. But still, it would have been kind of nice to have that thing around, just at least as a sack fodder if needed. But anyway, so I'll explain more how that was kind of impactful. But I do still have one screen up, I have 6 more turns for my Reflect, so bring in Lax. So here, I wanted to click Return, but after another Life Orb hit, it was a roll to knock him out. It was a roll in his favor. And I don't know, I didn't want to click Return and then have him stay in, click Bug Buzz, do a good amount of damage. It would have done, I think, like 40%-ish. And I didn't want him to be able to get off two Bug Buzzes, because then my Snorlax is really weakened. So I did go for a Rock Slide. I kind of thought he might switch into Bisharp, but there's still a decent chance that a Rock Slide plus Earthquake will be able to knock him out. So I do just go for Rock Slide. But he did go into Bisharp, so that kind of sucks. So I do just go for EQ here. But he does live. Now he did have a fair amount of bulk, so I think he was almost guaranteed to live this combo. So I needed like 2 really high rolls to kill, I think, if I even had a chance at all. I forget. But because I didn't run the calc from what ended up being his final spread, which had like 120 HP or something. Because the calc I originally ran just had like no bulk. So he ends up getting rocks up, so he can just click knockoff here and then get rid of my Tropical. And he dies to Life Orb, which doesn't really matter because Snorlax gets the kill either way. But that crit on Volk kind of sucks. Or the crit that Volk had on Evire kind of sucks, because if he did not crit me, then I would have gotten off enough damage to where I could have killed Volcarona. It would have been at like around like 65%-ish, and then in that range he dies to Return guaranteed. So I could have clicked, yeah, I could have clicked that, and then that would have put Bisharp in range of Earthquake, I think guaranteed. So then he would not have been able to knock me off and get rid of my Tropical, so I could still have a Snorlax at full health, and still have my Tropical. While he just has rocks up. So, I don't know, that crit, I mean, granted I could have clicked my stab move on the switch. I wanted to click Return, but I don't know, I just didn't want him to stay in with Volk, so. But, if I didn't get critted, then I could have, gotten off more damage, and then Volk would have died to my stab move. So I clicked it versus Bisharp. I don't know, I'm kind of complaining a lot, but, I'll talk a little more later about it. So anyways, so he brings in Shaman as I do stay in. In hindsight, I think this was a bit of a misplay, but I think I should switch into Togekiss. I mean, so this was a bit of a misplay in that regard, but since I don't have my Tropical and I'm a little weakened and he's rocks up, then Snorlax isn't super useful, so it wasn't a terrible play to stay in. I could have looked return here, because he would not have been able to 2-kill me with Seed Flare unless if he did get the Spadef drop, which he did though, so he would have been able to 2-kill me regardless. So we do just go for Self-Destruct. If he's offensive, I think it had a good chance to OHKO. He looks to be pretty bulky, so that did a good chunk though. He's pretty weakened though, not quite in range of Zygarde yet, but I can bring him to Dirtkiss pretty freely here. As I think I set up a Tailwind as he switches into Feeny. So that's cool. I can weaken down Feeny, potentially just kill it, which helps my Zygarde. So I do just Tailwind here. And now I can set up a Nasty Bot because I can start to pressure his team a lot, and he can't really do a whole lot versus me. He does move less. Gets a crit. Doesn't really matter though, because he would 2-hit here. He would he's not gonna kill me with the next one, so that's cool. And he would 3-kill me either way, so it didn't matter a whole lot. It just felt a little bad. So we do go for Air Slash, get the flinch, so a little bit of payback there. But I would still live the next Moon Blast, which would not have mattered. So then the Air Slash knocks him out in that turn. So yeah, and he brings in Lando. So I mean, and then yeah, you'll see. He just goes for C-Fly, which would have knocked me out regardless if he got the crit earlier or not. So that crit with Feeny didn't really matter. So at this point we're down 3-4. So let's just kind of take a break here, or take a moment to pause and just kind of look at the situation we got going on here. So he's rocks up on my side of the field. I don't have rocks up on his side. All his mods are healthy, barring Volt, which is at 90, still pretty healthy. Or no, Shaman's at 32. Shaman's weakened, so that helps my Zygarde potentially win. So here I go into what did I go into? 8? No, I did go into Neck, that's what I thought. It's because I can take this on decently well, and Ape does not kill, and neither does Zygarde, so I go for Psychic, which is definitely going to 2-KO with that roll. I think it was a good chance to 2-KO. It was like a roll. It was, I believe I needed like 2 decent rolls, and I would be able to 2-KO him. Like, he had a small chance to be able to live 2 Psychics anyways. So I do go for Psychic twice, as I do knock him out. I do live the +2 EQ. Now if he was Jolly, I was almost guaranteed to live that EQ. I don't know why I didn't invest to live +2 EQ after rocks. That's what I should have done. I was close to doing that, but my spread was just a little off of doing that. But it turns out he was actually adamant, so his roll slightly in his favor. He had like a, I think 56 or like 60% chance to OHKO or something, or to kill from that range, I think. So it was a roll slightly in his favor because he was adamant. But that means though, if it means my Electivire would be able to outspeed if he was still alive. And then Impair Ice would be able to do good damage to that. So that's just one thing to think about, I guess. But Evi would have outspread though, so that's a thing. I'll talk about hindsight stuff more after the game. Anyway, so here I just get a Rocks because Volcarona is not quite yet in range of Zygarde or Infernape or anything. Because Arrows does, I think, like 70 to 80 or 85 or something, so it's not quite yet in range of Arrows, and then it's not quite yet in range of, or it might be in range of the Flare Blitz, I forget, but Rocks told me we can down the Volk, and then I guess get some chip damage on Blade. So here, I thought he would heal, which he did, but then he can just knock me out with Psychic, because that way he can knock me to Seed Flare. So bring an Ape as Flare Blitz, I think knocks him out, or might knock him out, depending on his investment, but he's actually Aquaberry, so he's going to live that. So that was a cool tech on his part. Oh wait, yeah, actually with his investment. If I got the same roll, even if he was not Aquaberry, it looks like he still would have lived. So it breaks out the Tailwind, which is a pretty cool tech. So my Ape's going to be able to live a Psychic, and then I knock him out with a Flare Blitz, but, crit, yeah, crit matter. Then Ape dies 2 Flare Blitz himself. So we're down 1-2, he's got a Tailwind and not looking good. Now actually, we still sort of have a chance, with me having Life Orb, then being able to weaken. With me having Life Orb, then taking all that damage from Life Orb, I don't think I really have a chance to win. But if he only has like Drain Punch and isn't super offensive, I think then I might be able to do a small enough amount of damage to where Arrows plus E-Speed will kill, and I can live. Potentially live those 2 Life Orb hits, and if I do, then I can knock out the Folk, and then I think I'd most likely have to die that 3rd Life Orb hit, if not from an earlier Life Orb hit. So I could potentially still win this game with 0-0. Because I don't think he can do a small enough amount of damage to where I can live 3 Life Orb hits. But I do believe Arrows plus E-Speed will be able to knock him out. So he does just Mega, and then he does click Close Combat, so that just kills me. So if he had Drain Punch, though, or something weaker, then I think I could have maybe killed Delayed, but then he still had Volk. So, you know, GG to my boy Trev Sea. He did win that game, so check him out. He's a cool guy. He's got some pretty cool videos. He's a fun guy, so Trev Sea is a cool pal. Yeah, he's now 3-3. I'm now 3-3, and it's just a lot of teams 3-3. So I'm now at 3-3 minus 2. He's at 3-3 plus 1 or something. I forget his differential, but that crit earlier on EVIR is actually bigger than I thought. Like in the chat, I said, "Oh, not a big deal" or something. It's like I didn't want to be. I said like on the turn that he crit me. It's like I didn't want to be like super salty at the time. It's like I didn't know quite how big that crit could have been. Now, granted, I can't complain too much about hacks because, you know, I did get a little lucky earlier in the season. So, you know, but this is a little bit of payback, I guess, a little bit of karma. That crit could have been pretty impactful because, as I said, so if he did not crit me, then I could have volt switched off the damage so Lax could kill, and then I would have clicked my, I would have clicked return on the switch to Bisharp, and then that would have been arranged to die to EQ. So then I would still have EVI around and still have a full health Lax with my triple. He would mostly, I would assume that he would set up rocks, and not just knock me off, I would think. I think he would set up rocks instead of knocking off first, because he did set up rocks first anyways. So I would think that he would just have rocks up instead of knocking me off, because he would have died to EQ, instead of being able to live that first EQ. Anyways, so, then I would have had a Lax with full health with my triple. And then that would help me like late game versus things like Shaman. Because then if I was still at full health with my Chopal, then I think I definitely would have switched into Togekiss when he brought in Shaman. Although he might have brought in Gallade in that scenario. If he had already not, or, well, I don't know. He did, no, he probably still would have brought in Shaman, I guess. I don't know. Not quite certain what he would have done. And I mean, it's not certain that I would have won, so I can't be like super salty, but I think I definitely had a, well, definitely a better chance to win than in here. If I did not crit, if I did not get critted, but it's not guaranteed at all, so I can't be like super salty. But that's also what's kind of weird about, where it's kind of like, that's weird, but also it's just tough to tell with my games earlier in the season where I did get a little lucky. None of them was I guaranteed to lose, so like that's the thing about hacks, it's just weird sometimes. It's not like he crit me on the last turn, where if he didn't crit me I would have lived, and then would have been able to knock him out or something. Something like that, like on the last turn where I definitely would have won. But the crit was actually more impactful than I originally thought, so I don't know, we'll never really know who would have won, so I can't be too upset, but, you know, my luck isn't totally, lopsided this season, I guess. This is starting to take a turn on my luck a bit. So, anyways, I think I also did misplay a bit, like when let me go back. I think here, no, I know, oh, one day when I was at work and I was, like, really bored, I was thinking a lot about this game, thinking back on it. And some scenarios where I could have played better. I forget exactly where I made a big misplay, but I think it was versus Lando or something. If I had Vaporeon on this team, though, which I originally did over Necrozma, then I think I could have won. Or, I don't know, I forget all my thoughts and all the things I was saying and thinking before, so I'm not going to try to say any more scenarios or any more theoretical things, because I'm forgetting everything that I was thinking before. I did misplay a bit at some point. I'm honestly just blanking out what I should have done. But I think if I played a little better here, I think I had a chance if I sacked off Zygarde on the, right, when he had +2, if I switched into Zygarde to sack that off, then I could have brought an Ape and then Flare Blitz to knock him out, and then maybe Ape plus Necro could have maybe won me the game, but I think it depended on some plays and what he did, what I did, and stuff. That was what I was thinking. Because if I should have sacked off Zygarde here, really, because Zygarde didn't do a whole lot. Then I could have brought an Ape and killed, or at least killed something else. But anyways, I'm just gonna stop talking because I'm just saying too many theoreticals and hypotheticals and type of okay, that is okay. Thought that wasn't a word for a sec. Hypothetical. Okay, that sounds weird. That's a word, right? Yeah, sure. Anyways, I'm just rambling. Sorry, I'm tired, and also really hot, so I have my fan off, because that way the audio sounds better. But, yeah, we're playing Jolt next week. That's going to be a big game so far. I've never lost to Jolt in League format. Don't know how that's happened. Maybe I can keep the ball rolling and hopefully beat Jolt next week, and then that can push me above to 4-3. 3-4 would actually suck ass. So hopefully we can beat Jolt and win. That'd be really cool, playing Jolt next week, as I said like 5 times. I'm excited for that game. I will see you guys then.